So this is my Tascam 388. I've had it for almost exactly 1 year, and this is probably my favorite piece of gear that I own. Almost more so than any of my guitars or my amplifiers. This thing has been a game changer for me. This thing is really special, and I want to tell you about it in today's video.
Even acoustically, it's like that. I want to say I bought this in 2012 in LA. So I'm going to give you the reels.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to let you listen to the reels, but this one, I put some music on it like when I first bought it, and I was getting into dub reggae.
Yeah.
So no, you hook up like the reverb tank and the delay, and then you hit all these buttons at certain times to bring it in and out. Went on tour and started moving around the country, and I didn't get a chance to use it a lot, and now I want to give it away to the right person.
I'd never heard of them before. When we were in the Netherlands, Philip and I, the artist we were playing with, Tice, we were listening to the newest Mac DeMarco record, and he was like, "Oh yeah, he did this on the 388. You know the 388, right?" And I was like, "No." So, oh, and so he showed me a picture of it, and it sparked this full-blown ADHD 2-week deep dive. Like,
it's
dude,
a sexy piece of gear.
Phil can tell you, like, the entire trip, like every time we were in the van or we were sitting somewhere, I was on my phone reading forum posts and looking at eBay. And
this was like this dub thing that I did for a contest, like an online like remix contest.
Yeah. Dude, it sounds
The bass
sounds really good though.
Yeah, the bass on this EQ is like it's good.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the noise I was talking about, where it's just
Yeah. But the faders aren't affecting the.
yeah. Even if these are down,
Yeah.
you're hearing noise with just this up.
Okay. Well, dude, I'm
Yeah.
so excited.
I'm excited to get it off my hands. Not that it's a bad. Yeah. Because I've actually used to carry this by myself. Are you guys driving home tonight?
No, we're gonna stay at.
Perfect. Like a glove.
I guess we'll just push it there, then put the Pelican right there.
I
know it's gonna have like some noise
Table
issues,
too.
and it does. But that's okay. It sounds really good though. Like, did you hear the bass? Like just through that one monitor, just in mono. Like, I think it's perfect for what we want to do with it.
I think so. It's like just the right amount of character.
So the Tascam 388 was introduced in 1985, and at the time it was groundbreaking. It was the world's first quarter-inch reel-to-reel tape machine, 8 tracks, combined with an 8-track mixer into one console. And even to this day, it remains somewhat unique. Nothing quite like it has come out since it was discontinued only a few years after Tascam introduced it. Now at the time in the mid-80s, this was groundbreaking because home studios and home recording was just starting to become a thing, and this unit was designed for the home recording studio. If you bought this in the mid-80s, you got 8 channels plus an 8-track tape machine, basically everything you needed to make full-on records. And actually, some quite famous records have been made on the Tascam 388. The Black Keys' Thick Freakness was made on Pat Carney's 388. Most of Mac DeMarco's discography has been made on his 388. And thanks to the Black Keys and Mac DeMarco and other indie artists like them, the 388 now enjoys a bit of a cult following. If you know, you know. And prices on these things have been skyrocketing over the last few years because they only made them for a few years. There's nothing else quite like them out there. And they have a sound. These mic preamps sound fantastic. The 3-band EQs are super powerful, and the summing that's happening inside this unit gives your recordings this sort of mid-fi sauce, this mid-fi glue. That's the best way I can describe it after using it for a year. It's not a super polished hi-fi sound, but it's higher quality and higher fidelity than your lo-fi sort of thing, or a Tascam Porta Studio or cassette deck, for example. It sits right in the middle of a high-end 24-track 2-inch reel-to-reel machine and the cassette lo-fi machines that are also gaining popularity these days. It's a mid-fi sound.
You can see you actually are getting a little bit of bowing right here.
Okay.
So the board is starting to bow.
What's causing that? Just age?
Maybe heat, yeah, age. You know, as we start taking stuff apart too, a good technique is to take pictures.
Yeah.
As many pictures as you can. We're gonna measure our voltages, see where we're at with our power supply, and then try to get a signal trace. Try to pick up that static sound.
Okay, cool.
If you do not feel comfortable working on your electronics, do not do it without help from someone who is qualified. We try not to discourage people from working on their stuff, but we absolutely want everyone to be as safe as possible. The basic principle is you want to do as much testing as possible while the unit is all together. Say you didn't test the inputs, make sure that all of them are passing a signal. You put it all back together and all of a sudden, oh man, channel 1's not working.
Yeah.
Did channel 1 work before? Maybe it did.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Okay, that makes
so
sense. You need to baseline it, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So we check one side and we check the other. We should have 5 volts on one side and nothing on the other,
Positive
and
15 volts.
Right.
Then it means that probably the positive
The
15
5 volt
is
supply is looking pretty
Okay.
good, and because of
well, how many from the bottom is the?
So what you're saying is play the tape, and depending on where you're at in the circuit, you should hear it through the amp?
Yep.
Oh shit!
Exactly.
My God.
Yeah.
One other
There it is. The beauty of the signal tracer right there. Is you can come through. That's left. That's right. So that is our noise right there, coming in exactly the way you experienced it. Like trying to get it to act up. I'm actually affecting it by.
Oh, interesting.
This is where the chopstick comes into play. There's a good chance it's just a dirty connector on this.
Oh shit.
Yep. I'm thinking that maybe we got it with that connection. So it starts, you saw the bending card in the back, right? All this thing has to do is bend a little bit, and now it's starting to be intermittent. We should probably pull this off, deox it, and then put it back on. We definitely need to power down, and we definitely, this is where the danger comes in, make sure the caps are discharged.
Oh, yeah. Do not, I say this every time, do not crack into your tube amp and start sticking your hands in there and working around. It can be very, very dangerous. Can't tell.
See all that dust? That's likely worked its way into the pins. Look at this right here. Just as a garden of capacitors.
That's my other band, Capacitor Garden.
Deoxit is an amazing contact cleaner, first and foremost. It is non-conductive. I would spray this board and then insert it, and the deoxit on the pins will get into
rather than spraying into the connector.
Exactly, because I'm just going to douse all this stuff.
Man, if this really fixes it, like, it's a free 388 that just needed a little percussive maintenance. It's perfect. So,
Work into each card. All right, time to fire her back up.
okay.
I'll plug her in.
It was popping before too when we were engaging the master bus. It's not popping anymore. I hope this isn't copywritten, whatever this is, because it's going to be all over my video.
I mean,
I think we got it. What I would do is I just start using it, going through all the functions as much as you can, like test every send, return. That's the pain in the butt a little bit, but any problems will start to like reveal themselves.
Now, after we got it fixed last year, it took me a few months to really figure this thing out. And actually, at first, I wasn't sure that I really liked it. I was just getting used to this workflow of only having 8 tracks and having to commit to things. There's also some things that are still wrong with this. The headphone out doesn't work. The power supply needs to be recapped. It's still not perfect. But this all came to a head late last summer when I produced an EP for Roofman called the ATL EP, where we basically did the whole project on this 388. We live tracked full band in the room downstairs only using 8 tracks, and we did very, very minimal overdubbing in Pro Tools later. So the bulk of that EP is this 388 if you want to hear what this particular machine sounds like. I'll have it linked down below. I'm really proud of how that project came out, and it wouldn't have sounded like it does. We wouldn't have made the decisions that we made had we not been using the 388, and that's part of why I love this thing. Only having 8 tracks means a few things. One, you have to commit to your ideas and really think about your arrangements and your parts. Is recording that part really going to add something to the song, or is it better left out? Yes, you can bounce stuff to other tracks and sort of cheat your way to having more than 8 tracks, but every time you bounce something, you're experiencing generation loss. You're losing fidelity and you're losing high end, and this is already not a hi-fi machine. So you have to really think about what you're recording. Is this going to make the song better? Also, because this is a tape machine, I'm not punching in and out, I'm not comping a bunch of takes together, and I'm not doing a bunch of takes. I'm committing to the imperfections. Inevitably, when you're performing something live, there's going to be mistakes, and you sort of learn when working on the 388 or any tape machine to sort of take the good with the bad. Is the overall take there, even though there might be a small flub in it? And I think those two things are good practice for music in general. Committing to ideas early on and committing to takes, even though they might not be absolutely perfect, adds the human element and adds this beauty to the recording process that I think gets lost a lot of times in modern recording with using a DAW. When you have unlimited amount of tracks and you can comp for days, you kind of lose sight of some of the human element, I think. So after owning the 388 for a year, I think they are absolutely worth the hype. I understand why these are so sought after. I understand why people are spending the money that they are on these things. And I recognize that this video is probably only going to make that situation worse for some people. And I also recognize that I didn't pay for this thing. RJ gave it to me, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. And although I'm not very likely to ever part ways with the 388, I've decided that if I ever do get rid of it, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to give it away to whoever is the next steward of this thing, on the condition that they can never sell it. That whenever it's time for them to part ways with it, they're going to give it to the next person, and hopefully so on and so forth. Maybe this will become the free 388. At least that's the idea. I've been thinking about basically giving it a complete overhaul. It still needs some work. Power supply needs to be recapped. The headphone out doesn't work. It's got a bad op amp. And occasionally it's still a little bit noisy. But I love the 388. It truly is a special piece of gear. There's nothing else out there quite like it. And I understand the hype.